Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Welcome to a brand new episode of Anecdotal Arguments. This is Jay Fry, and with me is Sean. How's it going, Sean?
Oh boy, is it a Monday.
Yeah. I'd like to thank everyone who's sticking with us, even though Crowder is on Timcast. How many viewers we got, Sean?
Exactly 0.
Oh, you sons of bitches.
Well, to be fair, we haven't been consistent over the last 2 months.
We keep getting strikes, and I don't like you people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have been getting strikes, and there has been a plethora of excuses.
Yes, well, I mean, the holidays, stuff goes wonky anyway, so if there's a time for that to go wonky with a strike, that might be the best time anyway, because you get a little grace from people who are otherwise engaged with their own families and own lives. So,
yeah, we got that strike the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So
on the
we couldn't have gone on. Yeah, we couldn't have gone on that Monday or the New Year's Monday. But the next week, that was all me. I know we did the next week. The week after that was all me.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
Hey, by Groundhog Day, I got a strike that rolls off, so hopefully that holds.
Good. Then we'll get into some Crowder levels of bullshit. I fell asleep at the stream last night. I don't remember what the movie was, and I don't remember caring what the movie was.
Hang on, let me pull it up since we technically have a format that we're supposed to follow here. Even though the guy who's imposed this format isn't here.
Well, he's going to come on later, so we might as well save it for that. But
yeah, we can do that.
If you want to look up the movie.
Yeah, it was the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, I didn't even care to watch it.
I haven't watched it either, so I'm going to have zero opinion on it. Although I will say that Matt found something worse than Blade Runner and Tremors.
Oh, it was a no for him?
It was. He says it's the worst movie he's ever seen.
Was that with Bill Murray, or is that? No, that's Lost in Translation.
No, this is with Ralph Fiennes, and I don't think anybody else of note.
How about that? Yeah, so you got any stories before we get into just yelling at each other?
Well, we do disagree on the Crowder thing a little bit. Not a whole lot, but there's a gap there. What else do we have going on? The mostly peaceful riots in Atlanta. The Asian shooting in California.
That's what we're calling it?
I don't know.
Not the Lunar Day shooting?
Well, we could call it the, Chinese New Year shooting, whatever. Lunar New Year shooting. I don't know.
Geriatric Park. All the victims were over 50, including the gunman. 72, 74? I don't remember.
It's weird.
But they found at his place, they found a 308 with rounds.
Oh no!
I'm like, how many? And then they went hundreds. I'm like, it's not a lot.
No, it's not really. Well, it is in California, but it's not a lot. No. And do we know if he was Chinese or was he Korean? Because if he was a rooftop Korean, that is the best Korean.
Oh, I'm thinking Chinese. His last name was Tran. I think it was Huli Tran.
Yeah, I don't know what the guy's name was.
Yeah.
So,
Do we have a special guest?
yeah, I'm kicking him out right now. There we go. Okay. They keep stumbling and finding confidential documents at Joe Biden's places of residence and work.
Shit, I found 2 documents in my house. Like, when was Joe Biden here? Why do I have a presidential dinner menu? But I told Neo last week, it was the second COVID documents found, and I'm like, okay, just like at this point, it would be easier to start telling us where you haven't found documents.
Yeah.
Any place that Joe Biden's been in the last 12 years. I think it's at 10 years. But something to note here. Trump was the final arbitrator of what is and is not classified as President of the United States. These documents span from the time Biden was in Congress, well, Senate, but was the time when he wasn't even vice president, to when he was vice president and still didn't have the means to declassify documents.
Yeah.
Like the building he was at, the Penn State, not Penn State, Penn, whatever.
Well, that's Penn State.
University of, was it Penn State? I thought it was University of Pennsylvania.
Or maybe it was. No, you're right. It's UPenn.
UPenn, thank you. I couldn't think of. University of Pennsylvania versus Pennsylvania State University. Yeah, it was UPenn. That was in between running for VP to president. When he became president, he was no longer there. So these documents date back prior to an election in which he gained declassifying ruling authority.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. And not only that, they had existed there since his time as vice president, which means they spent an entire 4 years when he was not in government service at all in his possession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a wholly different comparison. It is finding like there's a possible reason that for some so this happened to me. We lost a guard this week, and his wife turned in his uniforms to me, and I counted out his uniforms and I separated them. I looked at them and I filed them away. And on a chair that I'd placed this stuff on was a random sock. I was like, "What the fuck?" I guess it came in with his clothes, like it was staticky or whatever the case was. But it's a random sock, and I threw it away. There is a reason, like your daughter's underwear could be in your office, like they were in your pant leg or a hoodie or something. There is no reason on this planet your daughter's underwear should be in my office. But you get to freely murder me because there's no reason for it. Joe Biden's documents are your daughter's underwear. Go get them. There's absolutely no reason for it. As a government senator, you have access to some classified documents, yes. When you read classified documents, you hand them back. On occasion, there is somebody watching you the entire time. There is a level of shadiness that involves putting documents down your pants to get them out of an office building. Like
not only just an office building, the guy who did that got him out of the skiff, which is supposed to be the most secure way of viewing said documents. You're not allowed to take anything in there with you, and then he somehow managed to stuff him down his pants and get him out of the skiff. Hey,
G. Gordon Liddy?
We have a viewer.
What's wrong with you people? Yeah, it's absolute bullshit, and it's the president having documents in his office completely different than a senator having documents in his home. When you pack up all your shit and you move out, it's something that can happen, and it's something that shouldn't happen at any level, but every single president has had these documents.
Well, and every single president has the ability when they're taking him out, saying this is no, you give it your little hand-waving blessing over it, this is no longer classified. And you can do that and take it, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Joe Biden never had that authority until 2 years ago. And all of these documents, existence at these locations that they've been found at, predate his presidency by a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, for anybody in the audience who doesn't happen to know, there are different levels of classification. So some of this stuff could be absolutely benign, or mostly banal anyway. But when I, as president, have a conversation with Sean, who is prime minister, the entire conversation that we have is technically born classified. Those are state-to-state communications in which anything derived from that, not declassified by him or me, is considered classified. The Christmas card sent by the Queen, in which Barack Obama sent fucking American DVDs that don't work in Europe, that's a classified document unless deemed otherwise. So there's stupid shit that is classified that has no reason to be classified.
Classified is the least restrictive. It just means it's classified. It means it's been denoted as belonging to a class. And that class of documents is privileged documents that have a limited viewership. They're not for public consumption. Then there's confidential. Then there's eyes only.
Yeah, then top secret.
Top secret. Secret and top secret.
Yeah, secret. Yeah.
And then double secret probation, apparently.
Double secret silent probation.
Oh, yeah.
But it's more or less a joke. Because the president can take anything from any of those, with the exception of code word classified. Because code word classified means you don't have to tell the president. That's the deep state. That's the shady shit.
Yeah. And who gets to put that stamp on it and why?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any bureaucrat.
Right.
Paul Rumsfeld probably did it to half his documents.
Oh, I'm sure. But here's the thing. Joe Biden right now can take everything that they're finding and say, oh, that's declassified. And he'd be 100% correct. Because the president does, in fact, have the ability to declassify. He can take everything that they're finding and saying, oh, that's not classified, that's not classified, that's not... And he would be right now. Right now, he would be correct. He would be correct in the now. From this point forward, that would be the case. But the problem is those documents pre-exist his ability to do that in the locations in which they were found.
Yeah, now, but not now then. Soon.
When is now? When do we get to now?
I almost watched Wrongfully Accused the other night, but I was like, I'm just not feeling it. It's not Mel Brooks. It's Leslie Nielsen, but it's not one of his better known ones. I do love me some Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spy Hard.
Spy Hard.
Naked Guns.
Spy Hard was a way better movie than it had any business being.
Yeah. But so was Hot Shots.
That's true.
Hot Shots deserves a lot of credit. Men in Tights was great for not having the same cast as the older stuff. I mean, the only comedians in Men in Tights were Dave Chappelle and Richard Lewis.
And Mel Brooks.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the actual film. I mean, Mel Brooks was in the film, yeah. But I don't think he is technically a comedian.
Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He did stand up.
Maybe he was sitting down at the time. I don't know. He got an award under the Obama administration, and he pretended to de-pants Obama. It wasn't like a very good act of de-pantsing, but you could like barely tell what he was doing, because you don't want to actually like take a lunge at the president.
Yeah, even if you're Mel Brooks.
Yeah, even if you are 91 years old.
Exactly.
But boy, that's you. Enjoyable. Oh, Tracy Ullman.
Oh yeah, she is a comedian.
Yeah. You're apt to forget, but.
Well, I mean, she was such a flash in the pan that everybody forgets about. She also had a I don't think it was number 1, but she had a top 10 hit on the Billboard music charts.
You sure you're not thinking about Cyndi Lauper?
Positive.
Tracy Ullman. I know. What is it?
They Don't Know About Us.
Well, I mean, Eddie Murphy had one. What's Up With You? And Party All the Time. He had 2.
Yeah, Party All the Time.
My girl likes to party all the time. Speaking of...
Boogie in Your Butt, which didn't get the credit it was due.
Yeah. Not Tracy. Oh, yeah, Tracy Ullman. Responsible for the longest running show on TV. In the spinoff from the Tracy Ullman show, The Simpsons.
Did she get a producer credit for The Simpsons?
Originally. But it was a skit on the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah, it looks way different too.
Yeah, I didn't care for that Dr. Katz kind of squiggly bullshit.
Yeah, Squiggle Vision.
I don't care for season 1 of The Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah,
literally the only thing I think of is Dr. Katz and The Simpsons.
Fuck, that was a different time, man. There was a lot of good stuff on TV back in 1986 and 87.
Mm-hmm. I blame 1991 and Living Color for ruining that.
No, even that was a good show.
It was.
But what's funny is for a black produced show with a lot of good black talent, the funniest guy on the show was the white guy.
I mean, Jim Carrey was. Well,
I mean, he's nuttier than a squirrel turd now, but he was absolutely the star of that show.
He had some characters. I couldn't stand whatever. Like, there was nothing funny about crossing your eyes for more than half a second. Like maybe you sell something or you smell something and your eyes cross, or you get startled and your eyes crossed. But playing a character with your eyes crossed, it's never funny.
You talking about Jamie Foxx's character?
Jamie Fox, no, Mrs. Fox, whatever, LaQuisha, LaQuada.
I don't remember what the character's name was. LaQuanda, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's not funny. It's never going to be funny.
Well, he was playing a girl that was supposed to be just the most unattractive thing on the planet. That was the gag. She was supposed to be repulsive.
I think Jamie Foxx in drag pretty much covers that.
Okay.
Also had a number one. Blame It on the Alcohol.
Is that Jamie Foxx?
Oh, he's like the
well, he's a triple threat. I know that.
Yeah, he's got the hard vocals. It's not the.
Yeah, no, and when he did the movie Ray, that's him singing, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, dude's talented. Dude's way talented.
Mm-hmm. And I miss that kind of talent.
Oh boy, howdy.
But the only close to that now is Margot Robbie, who's like, I think my character would get naked because all she has is her body, and she would use it to its fullest. I'm like, I agree with you so much, Margot Robbie.
Well, she's the non-prude Rebecca Romaine.
Well, she's like some sort of foreign, so yeah, they're automatically less prude than we are.
Yeah.
Learned that in European Vacation.
Tits is tits.
And then actually,
they're not hung up on tits. And then actually
going to Europe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. But their dating in most parts of Europe is incredibly more fucked than it is here. Just shit. But that's another story. Let's get on to the big fight.
All right.
Me, Team Crowder, versus you, Team Nazi.
I am not on Team Daily Wire. I can say that. I just don't trust Crowder. I don't think. I don't think Crowder is being honest or genuine in the things he's saying. Like, well, okay. I'll take that back. Maybe not. He is being genuine, and that's his side. That's what his argument is. I think he's genuine in that. But what I think he is duplicitous and willfully and knowingly not steel manning against himself to make his argument the strongest it could be. He's leaving it hanging and intentionally obfuscated. And I think that's dodgy. I think it's dodgy as hell.
I think it had to be done without calling out the Daily Wire.
Originally,
This all started out as these are the kinds of things certain people on the right wing are doing to other people on the right wing. They are the enforcement arm of left-wing policies, and it's bullshit. If you see a contract like this, fuck the term sheets, because it's a contract.
Well, yeah, all contracts start as term sheets.
Mm-hmm. If you are talking to them and negotiating, that's a term sheet. If they send you something to sign that you have to take to your lawyers, that's a contract. Term sheet is a list of terms. That's something you and they fight over before it becomes a contract. What Crowder had was a contract. And you're not my friend. First off, in a business negotiation, there's no friends there. When you send me a basic bitch contract that doesn't even cover things that you should know as my friend, that I am already demonetized from YouTube, that I have a strike, that I've had a suspension on Twitter, that Apple Podcast has given me a warning, things of that nature, and that's not included in the first run. I'm not spending $16,000 of my own money that you're not compensating me for because you didn't bother to spend your own money on your in-house lawyers to give me a fair and equitable contract.
I agree
and it's
with
not
that.
equitable.
Well, I agree with that, okay, so I'm gonna work this a little bit backwards. The beef between the Daily Wire and Steven Crowder is a business partnership that they had discussed and were contemplating. Both sides were contemplating it. That just is not equitable or desirable or workable for either side. It's just a bunk deal. Period. That being said, and you go any further with that, we're no longer talking about the direct deal. We start talking about principles. We start talking about a second tier, an abstract idea of what should be versus what is. Now, I totally agree with you that what the Daily Wire sent over to Steven Crowder was an insult. Because it is.
Yes.
It's an insult. It's a direct insult, and you're right. Jeremy Boring, who has been associated with Steven Crowder and the conservative media marketplace, knows goddamn well Steven Crowder's position. And that should have been taken into account prior to sending over any term sheet to the man Steven Crowder. The fact that he did not do that is the insult. The business, the contract, boilerplate, whatever terms that the Daily Wire uses, they did not seem to think was worth modifying before contacting Steven Crowder about entertaining the possibility of them forming a partnership or a business deal. That's an insult. It is a direct personal insult because it means you didn't think doing your own due diligence was worthy of the time of the person that you're trying to court to join your service. So that answer was always going to be no. Now, that being said, Steven Crowder's taking it too personally in that now he says he's fighting for the little guy to make the Daily Wire change their business model. Because now somehow it's a crusade in what's more righteous. By all means, call out the Daily Wire for shitty business practices. But let's not make this a moral judgment, because there are people at the Daily Wire that are profiting and doing well by themselves. Now, their model does not work for somebody like Steven Crowder. Just doesn't.
Their model wouldn't work for us, bro.
I would take it.
And you would lose all the way down to like you, if you were given $50 million and you would lose instantly the 25% from YouTube. We've been suspended repeatedly.
Correct. It's still okay.
Now it's not.
I would still be making more than I'm making right now.
Okay, yes, but he wouldn't be. Is bottom line. Correct. We all do this for free. I pay $10 a month because I'm stupid.
I pay for some software and some shit that this little rinky-dink duct tape production definitely costs me money. Does not make me a dime.
And we do it for our friends and our own freaking self-interest.
Yes.
If we were serious about it, it'd be completely different. We'd have our faces out there. There'd be lighting. There'd be the things that actually are required of us. Instead, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to sidetrack this into the first 4 episodes of Elma anyway. But as of right now, we'll talk about that in a minute. Fuck, Velma was awful.
Yeah, it's awful.
No, I watched it awful. Not just you
Oh
can
my
agree with me.
God,
It's awful.
so you birdemicked
Oh.
yourself.
Well, first off, I had already birdemic myself. You got in a confused. I don't know what you were doing. There was absolutely no thumbs up on my end whatsoever, according to, hey, Birdemic's the worst movie I've ever seen, and you're like, hey, that's probably something I should watch. No, I didn't know that going in.
Well, no, I watched it because I wanted to see how bad it was, and you were absolutely correct.
Like, no,
it's terrible.
It's
god awful.
It can't be that bad. Yeah, it's that bad. Anyway, so sidetrack. Crowder's stance was, and I fully believe this at the time, the 2022, whatever. This was going to be about the Blaze and other contracts that he had gotten. Like, he'd looked around and he had found, like, guys, you're either a business with a business model, or you're a right-wing company with a right-wing company model. There's a difference. And this contract sent, and it doesn't matter what the numbers are, because it isn't about the money, it's about the contract. This contract not only enforces, or will not fight, but enforces the left-wing policies by the right-wing business. Officially making the right-wing company the enforcement arm of left-wing policies. And that's bullshit. The first thing that could have been done is, you make no money with us, Steven Crowder, but you keep Mug Club. You have your paying service. We take no part of that. You make no profit from us. But you're still going to include yourself in the Daily Wire. What ultimately they had planned in their, because it was a disrespectful offer, but that disrespectful offer covered something. If Crowder lost access to YouTube, Facebook, Marketplace, fucking all that bullshit, Apple Podcast, all that, and he was down to his 15% that he was making, he would then have been exclusively one place for you to see him. DWT, or DW Plus.
Right.
The Daily Wire Plus. And that would have brought in the Crowder fanatics to the Daily Wire. And as we can see from the Crowder Daily Wire controversy, there are people out there, tens of hundreds of millions of whatevers, that do not care for the shenanigans of the other side. So fans of the Daily Wire who signed up for Shapiro don't give a shit about Crowder. It's not going to affect them that Crowder's there. But Crowder's fans will go there only for Crowder. And that's an additional $10 a month, to a tune of somewhere between none and 350,000, which is tens of millions a year. So
again,
the first thing
this goes back to, it's a bad business deal. The model that Daily Wire employs was a bad business deal. It was short-sighted. Jeremy Boring was short-sighted about his business dealings with a talent on the level of Steven Crowder. That tells me that while Jeremy Boring's business model at the Daily Wire, the Daily Wire Plus, works for the talent he currently has, does not translate well to somebody who's
which is literally
self-made.
just Brett Cooper.
Well, it's Jordan Jordan Peterson to an extent, which it would be interesting to see the terms of Jordan Peterson's contract in comparison to, say, Brett's or Michael Knowles or Matt Walsh's. Because I knew of none of those people without the Daily Wire. Whereas I know about Steven Crowder, I know about Jordan Peterson, and I know about Ben Shapiro, but Ben Shapiro is literally half of the Daily Wire. So you can kind of exclude Ben because he's the reason the Daily Wire exists at all. But like for Jordan Peterson or Steven Crowder, like that level of what Boring wants to do with the company doesn't make sense for people outside of that paradigm. Whereas that paradigm that Jeremy has created can bring up Brett and Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh and make something of them. So the business model that he has works to develop talent as long as that talent is good. And if Jeremy Boring is honest, and I don't know that he is, but if he is, at the end of terms of the contract, those people can then go somewhere else and still be well off and make a better contract.
Yes, but with nothing. They leave the Daily Wire partnership that they agreed with nothing but the fame from the Daily Wire. Not their mailing list, not their contacts, not their channel, nothing. Not even their Twitter. Because in the contract, Daily Wire takes all that.
No, they don't take personal Twitter. They have a show Twitter, but they don't take the personal Twitter.
Yeah, everything but your personal Twitter.
So your personal channel, like you could have a personal YouTube channel.
Yeah, but they would take Louder with Crowder.
No, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't take Steven Crowder.
No, they wouldn't.
But they would take Louder with Crowder.
And even in the terms of the contract, or the term sheet contract, whatever you want to say, that was put in front of Steven Crowder, said for the term of the contract. So at the end of the contract, and Jeremy Boring pointed this out, the end of the contract, all of that reverts back to Steven.
That's Steven Crowder, though. That doesn't matter.
Well,
Steven Crowder's coming in.
Who's watching back episodes of anything? Do you watch back episodes of a fucking thing?
Yeah. Not new stuff, but yeah. Like, it would be stupid to go back 2 months and watch an episode of Timcast where he's talking about some arbitrary shit for the day. Or the same thing with Crowder. But like,
yeah, none of the content that the people we're talking about produce has a shelf life. It might have a shelf life of a week. Like, oh, I missed it this week, I'm going to go back and catch up. But outside of like
a mailing list does. A mailing list does, and that's something they get the first day.
Well, I think the mailing list thing is just another angle of a grift that I don't completely understand just yet.
Well, all I know is Candace Owens upset about it, so it's probably a grift.
Yeah.
Did you ever figure out that blonde chick?
No.
Allie Stuckey?
No, it wasn't Allie Stuckey. It was the other one.
Megyn Kelly?
No.
Janice Dean?
No.
Martha McCallum?
Hang on, let me Google it.
Sure it's not Tommy Loren?
It's not Tommy Loren.
Lauren Southern?
No.
Dude, I'm running out of blondes here.
Hang on.
Megan, Jennifer.
She's no longer there.
Alice.
Oh, Stuckey? No, because Stuckey. What was Stuckey's original handle?
She was OAN. Wheeler.
What's his name? Elisha Krauss.
Who?
Let me make sure that this is.
Did you say Felicia Krause?
No, Elisha Krauss.
I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Copy. Hang on, let me Google her directly. Yeah, Elisha Krauss.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't watch Daily Wire, though.
Right. Well, I don't know that she's still there. She was literally the one that. She's a good-looking gal who would be like the face and like would originally when they started doing their backstage stuff, she was the one that would ask all the questions and be kind of like a moderator sort of kind of. And then once she got pregnant, she just straight disappeared. And I don't know, it's because she wanted to just go be a mom or if she just lost some of her looks and appeal and they decided to not have her on camera anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, bitch.
Or maybe it's, you know what? Come to think of it, I have not seen her since the move out of LA.
Oh, so maybe she stayed in LA?
Yeah. And now she's working for Prager. She's the outreach director at PragerU.
Oh, well then, she's the one screwing all the fresh-faced talents like Lil Witt and whatever the fuck that black chick's name is who was on Timcast last month.
Oh, that's hang on, I've actually subscribed to her. Let me see if I can find her.
Abadebayo.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she needs to change her name.
Yeah, she does. Because she's not.
Like
when I see her on like
Arnold
a short or something,
Schwarzenegger.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'll totally watch that because I know that she's pretty entertaining. But I couldn't tell you her name ever off the top of my head in a casual conversation.
There's two girls on my TikTok who I'm like, you've got about 2 years left of TikTok before PragerU snatches you up. You were too cute.
Yeah, I can't find
And there's a third girl who is
Bundy, maybe?
who's going to get snatched up, but she's not cute enough. What?
Bundy?
No. It's African as all hell. It's like Abuela Yabadabadu. But I'm like, you're not gonna. No, I get it. That's your name, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But Lauren Chen did Roaming Millennial for years. you can do the same, and her name isn't even that freaking ethnic. Well,
Chen.
Possibly is. No, it might not be Lauren.
Oh, you don't think her name's Lauren?
No, like I have a buddy who is Ben, and his first name is not Ben. They Americanize names. It's like the opposite of what the Latinos do. Like your name will be like Roberto, and instead of Robert, they throw you a Chewy, even though it should be like a Jacob. It's a Vito instead of like they Mexicanize a fairly Anglo name. So this is the opposite. They take a name that is of foreign nature, and they just like give you another name to blend in. Like the Native Americans instantly, like as soon as white man took over, they're like, okay, you're now Jeff Running Bear, Jeff. they They're such savages. They always knew what was if they came up against a more powerful tribe, they acquiesced to the powerful tribes. That's how it was done. There is no such thing as fucking stolen land. They are a conquered people, yes, but that conquered, like, there's a reason so many people are 164th something. It's because Native women were throwing themselves at the white man for a good 200 years. They said, we recognize you as a more powerful tribe. Make us as powerful as you. And they did. Congratulations. Now you're boring with everybody else. But you got a flat screen TV now. 3 generations later. But the Crowder's issue was, and always has been, this, because this isn't about money. It's about the punishments and the punishing. Now, Crowder comes from stand-up, as much as he wants to try to come up from stand-up, where assholes close the door and pull the ladder up behind themselves. And he doesn't like that it was happening in his bailiwick, because he is one of the largest. He's bigger than everybody on Daily Wire. Not combined, but each individual. Shapiro's got like, I think 5.2 million subs, and Crowder's got like 5.9. But it would have been the biggest draw to the Daily Wire that they would have gotten. Absolute shit terms.
I don't think that the draw is as big as you think it is, because there's already a lot of crossover. That Venn diagram is only skewed a little bit. There's only so much they can gain, because they probably already have the majority of Crowder's audience.
No. Maybe a third.
I would say 2/3 easily, and if not more. 2/3 to 80%.
Judging from the stupid polls that have been going around, it looked like on Timcast it would have been about a third, and it looked like on Lauren Chen it would have been about a third.
No, because I think that even the people voting either way still probably have both. Now, we watch both. Well, I do anyway. I don't watch a whole lot of Shapiro, but I do watch Klavan.
I watch some Klavan, yeah.
I usually
he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, I'm catching a lot of clips of Jordan Peterson. I'll catch the occasional Shapiro. I'll catch the occasional Knowles. I'll catch the occasional Walsh. And I am seeing a shit ton of shorts from Brett. Like a shit ton.
She's popping them out like a fucking bunny.
Yeah, I am seeing a shit ton of shorts. And Brett might be on the curve, because everybody else in comparison to her is old and doesn't understand how people consume media, and she's still young enough that she's like, I'm going to appeal to the Instagram kids, and it works. So she's the
Jordan's shorts suck. But Michaela's shorts usually are within boundary, but Jordan's are like, you got to pick something heavy, and then you walk her to, and that's the end of the show. It's like, oh, so does he not know it's only 3 minutes? Did he think it was 3 minutes?
Hey, guys.
Who's doing this? Hey.
What did I miss?
Well, you'll have to go back and
everything
in post.
Yeah. He'll be the first one. Fuckers.
But, yeah, I just don't... I think that, this force... It's this if then, black and white sort of, dichotomic thinking, where you have to be for Crowder or you have to be for Daily Wire. No, that's what the left does. It's a it's a purity test, and while I agree that the business
No,
deal is
both
no
can
good
be
for either department,
wrong at the time.
you want
You,
to
are
say
you
something?
are you chipping in? Talking to
Hold on.
us? Yeah, no, I'm gonna let Sean talk.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's
so
not
no,
that you have to.
they're no, it's not that. Is there a delay or something?
You're robotic. Go on.
Yeah, there's a delay.
Try again.
Okay, just hold on.
Okay, while he fiddle fucks around, you don't have to take a side here. The business deal sucks. It's good for neither party. Is it a direct insult to Steven Crowder? Yeah, you could say that. Is Steven Crowder this grand moral crusader because he wants to protect the rights of the the up and comers? Maybe, but Steven Crowder's out for Steven Crowder. Make no goddamn mistake about that. And he's got a reputation of being a dick to the people he works with. So neither party are saints here. Neither party are absolute sinners either. It's just a bad business deal and clashing business models in a space that shares an audience. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. The audience that they share is way bigger than either side could gain by teaming up with the other. There's already a crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody
so-
has the Louder with Crowder mug and the Leftist Tears tumbler. They're the same fucking audience.
I think
How
it's
much
about a
overlap do
third.
you really think there is, though?
60
there's a
or
third.
2/3
Yeah, that's what
to
I'd say.
80%.
Somewhere between a third and half.
No, 2/3 to 80%.
No, it's too
overlap.
much. No, that's too high. You are jumping way too high with that number.
If you're a conservative and you consume media, you're consuming both Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire. Now, you might consume one more than the other, but you're consuming both.
Out of
I used to
everyone you
consume both.
listed,
I had to give up on Crowder after Jared left.
I am subscribed to Steven Crowder. I am subscribed to Clavin, and I'm subscribed to Brett. I have Ben Shapiro
Why
blocked.
Brett?
I'm trying to have sex with Ben Shapiro's little sister. Brett's not actually a sister, but I still am trying to have sex with Abigail Shapiro, so that works for me. But Brett is somebody I used to watch from TikTok. I enjoyed her shit. She's got an actual, not a different take, like it's conservative.com, but it's a millennial version of it. It's not an old white guy picking on bullshit.
So here's the problem that I have with this whole thing, and I think Tim is wrong about this. Everybody says, Crowder's going to make a shit ton of money if he goes off on his own. I don't think he will, because he doesn't have the infrastructure to host his videos. That's what Jeremy was offering him with the Daily Wire. Somewheres to host his stuff, not on YouTube or Rumble or anywhere else, which I think they use Rumble's infrastructure to support their site, but that's neither here nor there. He's not going to make money because the overhead's going to be too damn high, even if he makes $100 million. If he's going to stream it to where 6 to 10 million people are going to watch his videos consistently, he's going to use a lot of money.
Steven Crowder has said repeatedly and for years that the reason he can do what he does is because of Mug Club subscriptions. It's the people that join Mug Club and buy his merch and visit his hand-chosen sponsors, make everything he does possible. We have gone
Yes.
Okay.
for
Why
a full
do
month.
people join my club?
Hang on, let me fucking finish. Why have we not seen a single episode of Louder with Crowder in a month?
I don't know. I don't watch Louder with Crowder
If
anymore.
everything he says is possible because of Mug Club still exists. He still has subscribers. He still has the wherewithal to do this. I think the back-end infrastructure argument is horseshit. Timcast has his own back end that is sufficient to support him and his endeavors. Why the hell doesn't Steven Crowder have the exact same fucking thing? It's because he doesn't want to do it.
And Tim has a fourth of Crowder's audience as far as subscribers go. But Tim does have monetization.
And he still posts to Rumble and YouTube. He still relies on other people to host a majority of what he posts. Not everything, but a good majority of it.
Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm with Sean on this, completely calling it out. Even though Crowder, it could be something like when did the Blaze end? Is Tokunawa and Toolman, are they part of Blaze or are they part of Crowder? Is Dave Landau part of Blaze or part of Crowder? Like, did they separate? Is it now just Crowder floating by himself? Because we haven't seen anybody else, including Gerald. So
Gerald and Steven are on Timcast tonight. But yeah, they haven't put out a show. They haven't produced their own shit that they say that is their life's passion's work to produce. The show Louder with Crowder has not been produced since at the end of the year with the Blaze. Why? Why is that? I need to know that answer because according to what Steven has told me for years repeatedly is that it's all possible because of Mug Club subscriptions. Well, if it's all possible to Mug Club subscriptions, where the fuck is the show?
Yeah. Maybe Crowder's having an issue getting computers. I heard Tim was having an issue with computers.
Well, working in the tech
if
field,
everything's been mothballed for,
there is a significant lag time in getting quantity of competent computing equipment. It's slow to get. You just can't go out and buy it off the shelf anymore. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, like everything's been mothballed for what, 2 years?
Right.
Are they using Blaze equipment or are they using Crowder equipment?
Yeah, I don't know. But I was assured, and again, Timcast is doing it. Why can't Steven Crowder do it with Mug Club? Jeremy from the Quartering hosts his own shit. Why can't Steven Crowder? You know, why is Matt and Blonde are doing their own thing? Why the hell can't Steven Crowder?
Okay.
And I know Steven Crowder's been working with Jeremy from the Quartering.
One of those.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Every one of those people you on a link for their video, it takes them to where?
Okay, none of that came through, Garrick. You need to go stand by a window and stand on your left foot and put your right arm out into the wind.
Yeah, I was going to say, almost as disappointing as Garrick's audio.
Get the aluminum foil, too. Okay.
Look who's showing there.
All those people you just mentioned, if you go to their website and click on a video, a link to one of their videos, where does it take you?
YouTube. He's not banned from YouTube.
It takes you to YouTube.
Well, and the majority of
they are not. They do not have. They do not have their own infrastructure for hosting videos. They have a website that posts links to YouTube. This is what's killing them.
You could put them on Minds.
Crux in his argument, I think.
Minds is free. You can put it there.
It's still
Rumble?
It is not your infrastructure. You are relying on somebody else to host your videos.
Rumble links as opposed to YouTube links embedded in your website. And again, I'm going to go back to this because I'm going to beat this horse till it's dead and pulpy. Timcast has their own. If Timcast can do it, there is no excuse for Steven Crowder not doing it independently. None.
What percentage
of are embedded YouTube
videos does he post?
Yeah.
Those are embedded YouTube videos.
How do they do the after hours show? Where's that hosted?
Those are embedded YouTube videos. Those are YouTube videos.
See, I'm not a subscriber of Timcast, so I don't know how the after-hour shows work.
I got a buddy. I watch them. Yeah, I watch them on Timcast.
But they're just.
And I'm like, how does this?
Are they embedded or hosted on YouTube, or where do they exist?
They're on YouTube. I don't know how they do it. I'll check. Yeah, I should check because this was 2 months ago. Last time I watched one, but I still watched it, and it was on YouTube. And I was like, how is this on YouTube?
Well, and is it just that the video is privated and you have to have the link to get to it?
That's probably what it is, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it is embedded. You don't go to youtube.com. You watch it on Tim's site. It pops up like you go to any normal news channel, and it's once you put in your password, and sometimes you have to put in your password a second time.
But can you like right click and save link as on the?
Never tried.
Because it'd be interesting to see where that shit's hosted. It really would be. And right now, I guarantee you, Rumble would love somebody to use them for that level of shit.
Yeah.
Well, this is the kind of thing that would spur this kind of action, and that's kind of what we need. That's what Rumble needs. I would love it. I would love if Rumble could get, exclusivity. Is that the right way to say it?
Exclusivity.
Yeah.
Exclusivity. Okay. It would be wonderful if Daily Wire, Test, Crowder, all these people would just sign exclusivity rights to Rumble. No more. You just cut them out. But you need more. I mean, it is a between sport, but you still need a larger move from YouTube to Rumble, get more permanent. You'd really have to get a lot of like the gamer people, the beauty gurus.
I don't give a shit about beauty gurus, thank you.
Yeah, but they're big money on YouTube.
No, you don't, but a lot of people do.
Right.
I watch some stupid shit.
It's the most banal
shit.
shit that makes the most money on YouTube. It always is. It's lowest common denominator bullshit.
There's this girl on TikTok, absolutely gorgeous. Just a natural Italian beauty. And she does fashion stuff. I've never thought she looked better than when she starts out in the morning in her pajamas. But she's like, we're going to take this and the tube top and we're going to put a blazer over it. I'm like, that looks like shit, but you're so pretty. like no, sweetheart. You're still cute, but you look fucking awful. Like, you are not Johnny Depp. Stop dressing like him.
Mm-hmm. If you had to pick a side, which one would you pick?
I'm on Crowder's side.
I don't have to pick a side, and I'm staying on that hill. I like both of them. They both bring something different to the table, and difference is fine. They don't have.
That's fine. Yeah.
Steven's crusade to change their business model is completely unnecessary. That being said, they insulted Steven Crowder. There's no winners, there's no losers, there's no right side, there's no wrong side. It's just horseshit.
Before we get all, uppity about they insulted Crowder, look, that's a terms list. Everything on that list was going to change, including the money.
It's a term sheet. If you're going to use fucking jargon, use the correct jargon, term sheet. And it wasn't a term sheet. You said term list. And Crowder was handed a contract, not a term sheet.
No, it said it's a term sheet at the very top, a non-binding term sheet.
It's the document meant to lead to the negotiation of an actual contract. It itself is not the contract. It is the negotiating point. However, knowing who I'm going to reiterate this again. Knowing who Steven Crowder is and supposedly being his friend and associate for the last however many years, working with him having guest appearances on his show, having him on other shows, etc., you know exactly who Steven Crowder is. The terms on that sheet were a deliberate, intentional insult to the man.
Yes.
I disagree.
I
So
mean,
your team Daily
if
Wire.
anything, I'm with Team Tim Pool on this one. If you want me to be a part of your group, you send me something I can sign.
No, look.
If you don't do
Again,
this,
this is a term list.
I have to get my lawyer and spend.
Again, I like the way that Jeremy put this. The YouTube thing, it's probably just a standard thing they throw in there. It would have got scratched out.
Okay,
The
stop
$50 million could have been $80 million.
right there. No, stop right there. It would probably be scratched. You are Jeremy Boring. You know who Steven Crowder is. You know his history with YouTube. Why the fuck would you put that on the sheet to begin with? That's the insult. That is the direct insult. Well, this is what we offer all of our lowbrow talent, Steven. This is just
It's a
standard.
negotiating point.
This is just standard. You already know that it's going to get
It's a negotiating
scratched.
point, dude.
Right, that you don't
Yes.
have. Jeremy Boring does not have that to offer. He cannot start from there with Steven Crowder. Now, he may be able to start there with Brett. He may be able to start there with Michael Knowles. He may be able to start that with anybody else that he's got under his wing. He cannot do that with Steven Crowder. That is a direct,
Why not?
intentional insult because of Steven's history with YouTube. And if you think that Jeremy Boring isn't completely 100% aware of that, you're naive to the extreme.
I know he's aware of that. What I'm saying is it's a negotiating point.
It is not. It's a
But
non-starter.
it is.
It is literally a deal breaker that he intentionally left there.
Yeah.
It means this is saying I actually don't want to do business with you.
Yes. Crowder has a security blanket. It is Mug Club. In the contract, we take Mug Club from you for the terms of the contract. That's
Which again, that would have gotten rewritten to say they can't claim rights on Mug Club. The most they probably would have gotten was any episodes that they recorded while he was employed
Again,
with them.
If you're making an offer in good faith and you are personal friends, which they both claim to have been, and knowing the history of the people that you are dealing with, those two things never appear in any offer that you offer legitimately. Even if it is standard for the rest of your business, you tailor it to meet the needs of the business you're trying to develop. And Jeremy Boring is guilty of gross negligence for his own company. And if it has stockholders, they could now sue him for that level of negligence.
No, I don't think so. Because I seriously
no.
think that getting Crowder on Daily Wire would have been a bad idea anyway. Because he doesn't really fit in with the lineup.
It's bad for both of them. I agree. It's not a deal that should have ever happened.
Yeah.
And again,
But
maybe that's Jeremy's way of saying that. But then why not just be honest about it and say, this isn't going to work?
Yeah. I entered into contract negotiations last year when I transferred from being a part of the government business I was in to the private sector business that does the exact same thing. And their contract offered me a pay raise. I did nothing more than I had been doing, and in fact had done a few things less than I had been doing with a pay raise. That's a contract that should have said, I can work these days, I can't work these days, but it was the exact same contract. That's a contract you can sign, not the contract that was handed to by a friend. These people wanted me on because I had the training necessary to train the new group of people. So they gave me acceptable terms that didn't have to be renegotiated. I did renegotiate, and I got the only thing I fought for was tenure, not tenure per se, but the amount of time I had already accrued were put towards the time I came into that company already having served 5 years with the company because I wanted to be grandfathered in with my previous experience. There was nothing of that. There was, we take control of everything that is StephenCrowder.com, louderwithcrowder.com, everybodyandanything.com, and here's your penalties. Oh, I'm sorry that you're already enacted on 3 of those penalties. Too bad for you. That's not a place you start out with a friend. Now, granted, when you're doing a business deal and your contracts and you're negotiating, there are no friends in the room. This is business. This is separate from your friendship. But as somebody who knows you personally, it should have been more tailored to the dude instead of boilerplate bullshit that is made for somebody like Brett, who has no scars on her body from the talons of big tech or anything else. She had a YouTube channel that had twice as many subs as I had. But her fame was from TikTok. Her notoriety was from TikTok. And TikTok, she had over 50,000 subs. I have barely 2,000 subs. But her coming over was, her contract better have been very different than Jordan Peterson's contract. Jordan Peterson came to Daily Wire with like 7 years of videos on YouTube. 1 million plus subscribers, notoriety on Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman and the intellectual dark web, and their own talking points from all the stuff he's done in Toronto and Harvard. He's a big fish. She's a little fish. The contract should not have been any sort of remotely comparable to each other. Because when you have to sit down with your lawyer, that takes time and that takes money, and that does not get reimbursed. It's bullshit. And that's what the Daily Wire did to Crowder.
Right. And now...
Even if he has it.
Right. Now, the recording of the phone call with Jeremy Boring on the Crowder side, I think is kind of a dick move. Now, it's completely legal, single-party consent. I'm a total fan of single-party consent. But if you're going to release something like that, you release the entirety of it. You can't hide it. You can't pick and choose. You can't cherry pick. And so far, and this is my problem with Steven Crowder, knowing that Steven Crowder is a dick and out for Steven Crowder. Even though I like what he says, the guy's a dick and he's a control freak. This is not unknown things.
Yeah, these aren't things I'm denying about Steven Crowder.
Right. So that's why I'm saying there's no ultimate good here. There's no ultimate bad. It's a business deal that doesn't work. It's 2 separate business models. Both have value. Steven's not wrong. He's doing some shady shit about it, making it a bigger deal than it needs to be. The Daily Wire insulted Steven Crowder intentionally, non-intentionally. I don't really give a shit. They're going to produce what they're going to produce. Steven Crowder's going to go do what Steven Crowder does. All of this is a distraction, and it helps. And this is where my tinfoil hat goes on. The fact that Steven Crowder's been out there twice now with putting out stuff for just getting lists of email addresses between Mug Club Forever and now Stop Big Con that he registered back in the beginning of December before he was even off of the blaze. This is planned. This is thought out. This is methodical. There's a grift going on here with getting these email addresses. Is it a selling point that you can go to another company and say, well, I've got all these emails, you can harass these people with advertisement, you can sell advertising on this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm not in the know. It's not something I would do. It's not something I'm interested in. All I know is that it smells funny. The Daily Wire, both of them right now are making hay off of the videos and the responses to this controversy, if it's a controversy. Maybe it's a planned.
Timcast is making hay.
Yeah. Is it a planned controversy where all boats rise on the tide? Maybe. Maybe it's sweeps week for the conservative movement. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
We're talking
Timcast
about it.
has 100 extra. Timcast has 100,000 extra viewers tonight. Live.
Right. So, I mean, all of the players are in fact players. They all have financial interest in all of this.
Yeah. But Crowder is right. There are companies on Big Con, if you will, or Con Inc., whichever you want to call it, are enforcing left-wing policies for them. And that is not right.
On the plus,
Now,
not on the plus side, but on the other side, I can see where Jeremy Boring is coming from when he says it hurts their revenue streams. He's correct. It does detract from the ads, the insufferable ads that they sell and repeat ad nauseum. They get some less exposure.
I think the real winner on this is Tyler.
Huh?
I said the real winner on this was Tyler. Tyler. The guy who did the impersonation of Ben Shapiro.
The Ben Shapiro, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So good that we can't remember his name, though. Keep that in mind.
I follow him. I can't think of his Tyler. He was on Timcast like for 3 months ago. He's a little dude, and he was totally left wing. He's right up there with who's the comedian? Jamie. Another little guy, by the way. Yeah, he bought into it hook, line, and sinker. He's almost transitioned into a girl at one point. But Tyler, the dude's got gay dads. I can't think of his fucking name. With the beard? Anyway, him.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know who it is.
Right. I know who you're talking about, but I couldn't tell you his name because I don't care that much. It was a funny bit. He had 2 funny bits. Good for him. Good job. Well done.
I didn't see the Jordan Peterson one, but he actually has plenty of funny bits. He's a funny guy. He actually did the Daily Wires. He was in Terror on the Prairie.
Okay.
So kudos to him for making fun of his boss, Ben Shapiro.
Well, again, this is why abstain won Tim's poll, because I think most of the people, you can agree with one side more than the other, and I tend to agree with Crowder more than I agree with the Daily Wire in this case. But that I'm still going to vote abstain because Mommy and Daddy are fighting and I don't like it. It's
Mommy and Daddy are fighting. All right, Garrick, did you watch the Grand Budapest Hotel?
No. Well, I watched it years ago, but I don't remember if I liked it or not.
All right, so then we're going to talk about Velma. Congratulations. We actually saved the conversation about the Matt's rating for you, and you don't remember it, and I never watched it. Neither did Sean.
Yeah. No interest.
Yeah. I just remember there's something about colors, like I think colored dye or Indians or anyway. So Velma starts out. Velma Dinkley, as you would know from the Indian Dinkleys. Shaggy is not referenced as Shaggy. He is called Norville so far for the first 4 episodes. He has a black mother and a white father, which is technically a no-no. But the dad's a cuck, so they wouldn't make the black guy cuck. Daphne has lesbian cop parents. And Fred is rich and prepubescent. He's got a little dick. And they don't let you forget any of those things the entire fucking time. And there's a will they or won't they between Daphne and Velma on the they're going to scissor fight or not. It's absolutely goddamn atrocious.
It is literally the show that we would have come up with, that people like Nerdrotic would have come up with, Critical Drinker, Disparu. If you had asked them to come up with the worst take on how a studio would do a Scooby-Doo remake with intersectional politics and wokeism, it is what those people that hate that shit would have come up with as a parody, except it's real.
Yeah, in like the first paragraph of the monologue is talking about how most backs, like what do they call backstories, origin stories. Thank you. No one helping me. This is all me. She talks about how the origin stories of most characters, blah blah blah, and like still in the same first paragraph, giving even more power to a white man in their backstory. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, really? We're starting already. And then they claimed that the Mystery Machine was Fred's.
He's always the one driving.
But I've always seen it as Shaggy's. Fred's the driver, yeah. But when Shaggy and Scooby go off on their own,
are always in the back.
Yeah, exactly though. But when they go off on their own, they have the Mystery Machine. In the movie, the Scooby-Doo movie, everyone went their separate ways, and Shaggy and Scooby are in the Mystery Machine.
So if we're gonna break down old school, the archives of Scooby-Doo, the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You? It's probably Fred's van, because Fred is always the one driving, and Daphne and Velma are in the front, and Scoob and Shaggy are in the back. So it was probably originally, in the original show, Fred's van. But when the second series came along, and I forgot what the actual title of that show is, but it was just
Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?
Yeah, well, no, that was the first one. This was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The second one was like the Scooby-Doo Mysteries or whatever. It was Shaggy and Scooby, sometimes Velma, and they still had the Mystery Machine. And I think it was just because Fred and Daphne were kind of boring characters, and they just got written out because the kids really liked Shaggy and Scooby, and Velma was a good nerdy comic foil and brought the brains to the operation, even though she would lose her glasses all the time. And then you get stupid shit like Scrappy-Doo or Scooby-Dum, who I actually loved Scooby-Dum. Scooby-Dum was always my favorite. Or Dino-Mutt. And then they started having guest appearances like Laurel and Hardy or, the Three Stooges or whatever in the show.
Man.
Right. But it was the second or third iteration of Scooby-Doo at that point. So I think that the van was originally Fred's in the original conception of Scooby-Doo, but was just given to Shaggy and Scooby for whatever. Because they're goddamn cartoon TV shows. It's not like it's a real thing and we don't have to go back into the Scooby-Doo lore here.
So you think the guy with the ascot painted a psychedelic Mystery Machine on his van?
In 1969, abso-frickin-lutely, because it's the way you score chicks.
But it was so fucking terrible. And then to only have 4 episodes, I'm like, what the shit? Is this coming on a weekly basis? Is that what? So I have to wait for a fucking 2 months before the 10 episodes are done? God damn it.
Well, I need to look up. Let me go to Rotten Tomatoes here.
It's gonna be high. It's gonna be high for critics, low for.
No,
for,
I think it's
viewers.
low across the board. TV show.
Yeah, usually it's the black dad and a white mom,
Yeah,
but
okay.
because the dad.
So I've got the scores here. Average audience score, 6%. Average tomato meter, 47%.
6 as in 0? 6?
As in 0.6, less than 10% audience score.
Yeah, it's not made for kids. You can't have your kids in the room.
And here's another breakdown for you. The average critic score of all critics is 47%. Now keep in mind, these are people that are paid for their reviews professionally. That's all critics, is 47%. There's a button here for top critics. So the top critics only give it 44%. So there are 3% of the people that are liking this thing, giving it a positive review, that are not considered top critics.
It's terrible. It's worse than He-Man.
Yes. It is quite possibly the worst thing ever created. Objectively, the worst thing ever created.
Like, I watched 2016 Ghostbusters, and it was all right.
Oh, here's a positive review. Positive review. Okay, listen to this. Jinkies, this radical reworking of the beloved mystery team has plenty of attitude and style, but doesn't have the first clue how to turn its clever subversion into engaging fun. That's a positive review.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't. Yeah, no. Fred, all right, so Daphne is obsessed with herself. Fred's obsessed with himself. Velma's obsessed with Daphne and Fred. And Shaggy is obsessed, Norval is obsessed with Velma. It's just bad. And I hate that I can hear Jane Finch and Wanda Sykes' voices. Like Wanda Sykes to me, oh, first off, I don't think she's funny. And second off, she's an NSA. Like she's literally a spook who is in Hollywood.
Hey now, careful there.
She's really good at it. She's like super good at it.
Careful.
Like a super.
Careful
okay.
there. Got to disavow that.
Okay.
Got to be careful about. I mean, yes, if you work for the NSA, that does technically make you a spook. But when you refer to that to Wanda Sykes, you got to be careful. Careful.
Yeah.
Careful.
She's the swamp, the 3-letter agency. She's the spear of the yeah.
I can feel
thrown
myself sinking into the swamp as we speak.
Thrown into Hollywood, almost like chucked into the. Jigaboo.
Hey now. Hey now.
That caused Hightower to flip a fucking car.
Yep.
And I don't remember if it was a book or a. Oh yeah, it was a book called Dead Man's. Anyway, the author was sniffing his own farts. He Dead Man's Chest, but it was the chest of a dead man, not a like a chest of a dead man. But he like it's halfway through the book, and I'm like, this is the plot to Police Academy 5. Why is that so often a plot in movies and books? And then he ended the fucking book with like, realize that it takes time to make these glorious works of paranormal fantasy. And I'm like, this is the fucking plot to Police Academy 5. It even involves the mayor taking out a secret persona to allow criminals to devalue prices so they can buy up and freaking gentrify. It's the exact plot. It's a good plot. I like it. I miss Mahoney, but Matt McCoy does a fine job. This is ridiculous.
So I looked it up on IMDb. This is in the trivia section. It is the lowest rated project ever produced by Warner Brothers Animation, surpassing Thundercats Roar from 2020 and Little Ellen in 2021.
I have never even heard of either of those. Wait, Thundercats had a new thing?
Apparently.
I missed it?
I'm going to look at Thundercat. Oh my god, that's terrible. Thundercats Roar is Thundercats done in Cal Art style. It looks atrocious.
I don't know what Cal Art style is. Anime?
Hang on, I'll put the link in the chat. It's gross.
I saw the trailer for it. I was like, fuck that. Yeah.
It looks atrocious. You ever seen Steven Universe? It's that style.
Oh. What's that shit from what's that squiggly line from Dr. Cat stuff? That's stuff I hate.
Squiggle Vision or whatever it was. Well,
there was
Dr. Katz and one other cartoon that used that for half a hot second in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I cannot remember what the other title was that used it, but nobody liked it. At least Dr. Katz had semi-decent writing, so some of the jokes were still good, but yeah, it was irritating to watch.
But Ben Katz is Archer.
I don't like the guy's voice that does Archer. Like the guy from Bob's Burgers. I don't like his voice. And I don't like his humor that much. I mean, some of it's okay, but it's not my favorite stuff.
What was the character Dave Chappelle played? What was his name?
You?
No, in Dr. Katz.
Oh hell, I don't remember.
It was something like
if it was on.
I think it was Dave, I believe his name.
That's original.
Yeah. I would recognize like a couple people, like Ray Romano was on there, Brian Regan, Fred Stoller. But the secretary is Sarah Silverman's sister, her older sister.
Yeah.
And her older sister's name is Laura, and it's fucking Laura the secretary. And I was like, wait a minute. Uh, like, is this a real thing or a fake thing? Because Dr. Katz is named Katz, and Laura, the secretary's name is Laura. Dave Chappelle's name is Dave. And I never understood whether, because I didn't watch it that often, but I didn't understand whether or not it was supposed to be like a thing or not, like a real thing or not. Like, I'm like, is this impromptu or is this unscripted? So, yeah, it was improv, which is probably why everyone kept their real names. Yeah, I think it was improv.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't the best thing ever, but it was, by comparison to today's offerings, it was freaking golden.
I could care less. I watched Eraser Reborn. Yeah, the Arnold and Vanessa Williams Eraser, and so it's about U.S. Marshals who make a U.S. Marshal makes their client disappear, whatever. In Eraser, they pretend to kill them off and replace them with dead bodies, and I'm like, no, that's illegal on like a lot of levels. Like, like there is no permit to allow you to hack dental records and replace dental records. There's no warrant in the world that allows that to happen. But so the U.S. Marshals in this new, I don't know, Netflix, made for Netflix, Eraser Reborn, take and hide their American citizens in South Africa. Like, if I could think of a place to safely stash, it's not South Africa. Like no witness is safe in South Africa. No. And then they make references like, yeah, we were down here on an investigation into this company. I'm like, U.S. Marshal, the U.S. and U.S. Marshals means you stay your ass in the United States. This was freaking awful. But because there was an alligator attacking Arnold in Eraser, they had a hippo attack in South Africa, which did look pretty good. But then they ended with a fucking rhino attack. And I'm like, okay, enough of the animal attacks. Jesus Christ, this is a gunfighting movie. Absolutely atrocious. Not in a good way. But you did get a 5 in lecture on apartheid, so that was all worth it. What's that new superhero show that talks about the Indian partition?
What?
There's an Indian superhero now that talks all about partitioning, or participation. What it's like the caste system in India.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I think it's partition.
Does not
It's like
ring a bell.
it's like apartheid. Tim talks about it, but I could give a shit less. Tried Stargirl, didn't care for Stargirl. Like I just make more movies like The Untouchables and Highwaymen, both starring Kevin Costner. Did you watch Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Oh. Well, the cop, the dickhead cop, who it was in Sons of Anarchy, is the writer of Yellowstone. And apparently he just put out like 4 other fucking things, and they all got snatched up, like Yellowstone 1923 and
Yeah, well, the ones after
Yellow.
the years, those 2 series, like it was like 1899 or something like that, and then 1915 or 20s, I don't know, whatever those numbers were.
Is it the
Both,
same family?
I think so, but both of those didn't get a second season.
Oh, they had the first seasons?
One of them did, and it didn't get picked up for a second. Because I think those were Netflix things, and I'm pretty sure, or they were either that or Paramount Plus or something like that. But they didn't get picked up.
Paramount Plus, because I don't have it.
Yeah, one of them didn't get a second season. And everybody was like up in arms, like, "What the fuck? This is like one of the best things you've ever done." And no second season.
Weird.
Very. So, something I noticed is that there's a movie that Raul Julia was in called Overdrawn at the Memory Bank. The only reference I can find to this movie is the MST3K version of the movie where they watch the movie and make fun of it. But it is listed nowhere else. It's like it doesn't exist. If you go to IMDb and look up Raul Julia, it's not listed as one of his credits, even though he's the star of the damn movie.
It says it's on it's on Prime. Is that nope, it's the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version.
Uh-huh. It's the only thing that exists. There's like no record of this actually being a movie that you can go find anywhere else. The only instance of this movie existing is this one episode of MST3K. It's not in his IMDb listing. It doesn't show up on IMDb on its own. There is nothing on this that isn't referenced to MST3K. It's like it doesn't exist.
Maybe they bought it.
Yeah, but it would still show up as a actor credit for Raul Julia. And it doesn't. It doesn't show up at all.
Maybe it's got another name.
No, that's not it. Well, it had to be early 80s, so I'm looking now.
Oh, hold on.
It's a ripoff of Casablanca.
Shit, that doesn't work. It's 1983.
Yeah, it doesn't exist on his IMDb.
That's weird. Why is there a picture of... Oh, I thought that was... I thought I was looking at a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme in Universal Soldier, and I was looking at a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme from Street Fighter. Which does make sense. Yeah, even that picture in this freaking trailer is it's of Jean-Claude Van Damme instead of Raul Julia. So apparently, Raul Julia did nothing from 1992 to 1994 besides American Playhouse. A New Show, and Kiss of the Spider Woman. God, that was terrible.
Well, he did Adam's Family Values in '93.
83. Sorry, I'm at 80s. 83.
Yeah.
Tempest was in 82. American Playhouse was in 82 to 94. The New Show was in 84. But in 83 is when Dice Floor Mars. All right, so maybe it came out afterwards. They did that with all the boys love Mandy Lane. They did it with Jason X. Took 2 extra years to come out, as well as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with those famous people. Mussolini, Festa, Florida Straits, no. Maybe it never made it out.
But yet there's an NST3K viewing and ripping of it. I mean, I get why they would never want to actually release it. It's crap. But, like, it is a thing that exists. And there is no credit for it, which is weird.
Yeah, it says it's a television film. And it's actually distributed by PBS. So
I could buy that. It could be a PBS thing.
It still would have a credit, though.
You would think so. You would think so.
I mean, unless Raul Julia had his name taken off of it, which it then wouldn't appear. Because there's a lot of stuff I watched that ends up they use these fake names, or directors choose pseudonyms, or might have been early in his career enough to not have been using Raul Julia, but that usually says it.
Well, no, I mean, he'd been acting since 1951. So, I mean, he's got credits in the late 60s, all the way through the 70s, all the way through the 80s. It just doesn't appear.
51, good Lord. Oh, no, you can't count Love of Life. That's the entire run of the show.
Oh,
so more than likely.
Soap? Oh, yeah,
from 51 to 80.
Yeah, 30 goddamn years. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was like, how the fuck old is Raul Julia? Like, I mean, I understand he's dead, but I'm pretty sure he was born in, like, 1940.
He could have been a child actor. Yeah, he was born in 1940.
Oh! It is, you dumbass.
What?
It's an episode of American Playhouse.
Is it really?
Yes. IMDb, American Playhouse, overdrawn at the memory bank, TV episode 1983. The mind of a computer programmer forced to take a virtual vacation is removed by a totalitarian government.
Okay, so that makes a little more sense then.
Yeah. So there's there's one episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that I know the name of. and because it's shown, it's a music it's a musical, and it's literally titled "Once More with Feeling,"
Yeah.
and I definitely prefer the way Friends used to name their episodes. It's like the one where Chandler gets molested by Joey's tailor. It's like, yeah, I remember that episode. What was the name of it? It's the one where Joey, oh, Taylor molests Chandler. That's how tailoring is done in prison.
Okay. All right. So now, well, that's less of a conspiracy than I was hoping it would be. But yeah, it's just a piece of shit show.
I'm normally the one with the questions, not the answers. I was looking at it and I'm like, this. I mean, he's on American Playhouse this year, so clearly American Playhouse. I'm like, I don't get it. I would have known instantly if I would have looked at the. Hold on, let me check to make sure. We're drawing at the memory bank now, playing on Prime, and it is. Oh no, it's 91 minutes long. Yeah, that would not have been a clue at all.
It's actually like a really advanced script for 1983.
Oh, it's actually based on a book.
Well, that would make some sense, but I mean, that's very avant-garde for 1983. It's just a really shitty production then.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's based on the 1976 John Verley short by the same name. Dystopian future, employees of a conglomerate get trapped inside a company's computer, end up affecting the real world, and it's co-produced by Canada's RSL Productions in Toronto and New York television station WNET. Because of its expensive budget, the film was shot on videotape and pre-sold to small American cable companies.
Okay, so back to Velma. Here's some trivia, and this makes me happy.
I'd rather a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Okay, but this is going to reference that. So,
Okay.
the one good thing that I will say about Velma is they gave Frank Welker a role. Fred's father is voiced by Frank Welker, the original and main voice of Freddy. This is the second series in the franchise where Welker has voiced a relative of Fred as opposed to Fred himself. The first one being a pup named Scooby-Doo in 1988, where he voiced Fred's uncle.
He does this weird, like, his voice isn't set. The dad's in, like, 2 of the episodes, and in one episode he's very much the Claw, and the second episode he's very much fucking one of the Autobots.
Which, interestingly, Frank Welker probably absolutely did.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he did, yeah. But yeah, he God, that guy. Yeah. Like he's just noises and some shit. Do you know he played the Anaconda
I can believe it.
in Anaconda? Yeah.
I can believe it. Just making noises into a microphone.
Do you know? He was in one of my favorite movies.
That doesn't narrow it down. Frank Welker did almost everything.
He was the titular character.
Okay.
He was the Tremor in Tremors.
Does he really have a credit for Tremors?
I don't know. You should look it up. See if he's got a Tremors
I'm
credit.
checking.
But
It's just going to take me a while to
but
scroll through all this nonsense.
not only was he
985.
not only was he the Graboids, he was the noise of the ground shaking.
What year was Tremors? 97?
Are you fucking kidding me? 1990.
The original Tremors is that old?
Are you kidding me? How else do you think they got Kevin Bacon?
I mean, well, he's been doing shit forever. Alright, gonna scroll even further. 18 pages later. Finally,
It's one page. Calm down.
He was in Hudson Hawk as Bunny the dog.
Gotcha. Bubble. My aunt does a pretty good dog voice, like the dog bark, but it's like, it's entirely you can understand that it's my aunt's voice barking like a dog. And her husband walked in and was like, "You guys got a dog?" I'm like, "That's clearly your wife's voice."
I'm not seeing Tremors here. Hang on.
No, are you serious? 1990. Come on, 1990.
I'm looking at 1990 and it's not here. Now I'm going to have to look up Tremors because this man's list of credits is goddamn ridiculous.
Okay, I've got him on Google, Tremors cast, but he doesn't have a name. So he is, Google says so.
Hang on. Yeah, Tremors is 1990. Top cast. All cast. Let's see here.
Oh.
Tom Woodruff Jr. is credited as being the Graboid.
Tom Woodruff Jr. actually married Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, he's not listed.
No, he's the animatronics guy for special effects.
Let's see if he's in the sound.
If you look him up, he's gonna have a fuck ton too, because he was the mouth of the Predator. He was the body in the original Alien. Yeah, Tom Woodruff Jr. is a special effects guy. He was he specializes in animatronics and prosthetics.
Visual effects. This is creature effects, stunts, cameras.
He probably was the Terminator too.
Costume. Yeah, he doesn't have a credit for this.
What'd you look up?
I'm looking at the entire cast and crew of Tremors. He's just not in here.
Frank Mulger.
And he doesn't have a credit on his own page for it either.
Filmography. Good fucking Lord!
Yep. It's like
I'm still
900
loading.
entries.
Let's try sound department.
Yeah, he was Megatron, Soundwave, and Skywarp in the Transformers.
Okay, here we go. Sound department. Kangaroo Jack, Mr. Magoo, George of the Jungle, Tank Girl, Top Dog, Far From Home, The Adventures of the Yellow Dog, Prehysteria 2, Radioland Murders, Andre, City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold, Monkey Trouble, Prehysteria, Bingo, The Return of Swamp Thing, Care Bears movie, Cujo.
Good Lord, he was half the cast of Inspector Gadget.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Music department, Eight-Legged Freaks, 101 Dalmatians, Indian in the Cupboard, Outer Limits, Love Potion number 9. If you remember, there was a lot of stampeding in Love Potion number 9. Cuffs. I don't know who would have been in Cuffs. Beauty and the Beast. Prancer. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He was probably the sound effect. Troll. Good God. Some of these movies are just way out of left field. Brother Bear. Episodes of The X-Files. He's probably The Landing.
Jesus
Mars
Christ.
Attacks. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Poltergeist.
This man is amazing.
ADR Loop Group. I don't even know what that means.
He was the special effects voice of Jackie Chan's car in Cannonball Run 2.
It was the car.
Jesus. This man, I swear, what a career.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters.
Well, hang on. I'm in the 80s. Let's see. Gremlins, yes. I'm not seeing Ghostbusters, though.
No, but you know what I mean? Like there was those two different. Like there was one that was a European show, and it had the monkey.
Yeah, because that was that wasn't European. That was Filmation. Filmation had created a cartoon in the 60s called The Real Ghostbusters. Or Ghostbusters. It was a live action show.
Ghostbusters.
It was a live action show. And then Filmation made a cartoon over it after the movie Ghostbusters got famous because they had the rights to it. And that's why the one that was the cartoon that was based off of the cartoon that was based off the movie Ghostbusters had to be called The Real Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters was taken by that previous old TV show. It's just a naming rights thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was in both. Yeah, he doesn't get credited, even in the end credits. But if you Google it, he's in it.
Well, which is more correct, IMDb or Google? Because it's not like the man's lacking credits.
It was just the noises of the graboid. I mean, it's not like you ever see his frickin' face.
Right. Well, and he's a voice actor. That's what he does. That's what
He's a
always
fucking
done.
noise actor is what he is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I bet he's in Roger Rabbit as the spring that shoots the weasel. Like just random fucking shit, man. Yeah, he'd be a great one to learn for 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Because you can put almost anything to him, and he's in Tremors with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
He's probably the squeak of the spin in Footloose.
It could be.
He's probably 2 of the songs. It's just him making noises.
He was the gopher in Caddyshack 2.
No, keep going back. You'll find out he was the gopher in Caddyshack.
Hang on, what was that, in 81?
Yeah.
Hang on. God damn, this guy's got a lot of credits.
He's probably the fucking noise of Michael Gross's guns in Tremors too. Elizabeth Olsen claims that Tremors was her favorite movie growing up, which makes her correct.
Oh my god, he was half the voices in Plastic Man.
I didn't actually expect that, but yeah.
No, he's not.
I wonder.
There is no voice for. Well, it's not Frank Welker in Caddyshack 1, just Caddyshack 2.
Well, does he? Doesn't the gopher laugh though in Caddyshack 1?
I think it just squeaks.
Still, I'm pretty sure that's wouldn't be surprised that was. Maybe it is 2. That seems like a 2 thing.
He was Dumbo in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and additional voices. This guy's freaking list is amazing. Hudson Hawk.
That's so weird. He gets credits for all of these things. The various sounds made by graboids became popular to reuse in other films and can be heard in films such as Predator 2, Starship Troopers, Ants, Mosquito, Eight-Legged Freaks, Kong Skull Island. All those are Peter Welker. That's so weird that he's not mentioned in here.
He's the voice of Shao Kahn and Reptile in the Mortal Kombat movie.
I just wonder how many times he talks to himself.
Oh my god.
And which way he does it. If he films all of one character, like when he's playing the Claw and he's Inspector Gadget, is he doing all the Claw dialogue and then doing the Inspector dialogue?
Well, he's not the voice of Inspector Gadget, but he's basically the voice of every other character.
I think he's the voice of Penny.
No, he's not the voice of Penny. He's the voice of Brain. He's the voice of Brain. He's the voice of Dr. Claw, and he's the voice of the cat that hangs out with Dr. Claw.
This even has who narrated the trailer. John Voight was considered for the role of Earl. Ray Liotta was considered for the voice of for the role of Val.
Oh, Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon. He plays the voice of Ray Stantz.
Ow. Yeah, I love his career. Some of the stuff he's in, like he's the Buzz in The Fly. I don't know if that's true. I made that up. But I wouldn't be surprised if he played a fly a couple times. Wait, Fred Welker, you were in Batman? Yeah. There was a scene. Jack Nicholson falls into the vat of acid. I was the sizzle. I was the flesh burning off his body.
Just an amazing career.
God, can you imagine how popular he would have been on radio? Like, he would have been in every Radioland, like the sound department. He would have been a one-man sound department.
Yep.
Him and Jabberjaw Jones could have done the whole thing by themselves. Like, Michael Winslow and Frank Welker are 101 separate and definitely different Dalmatians.
Jesus. That's crazy. I'm going to get off that. Stop fanboying on Frank Welker.
he was the ooze in the Blob, probably.
Quite possibly.
Oh yeah, I played the drip of water in Lethal Weapon. I'm sorry, what?
All right,
Yeah.
so for Matt, next week's movie is The Shining. Or this week's movie is The Shining, I should say. I'm going to guess that he's not going to like it.
Oh, I 4 out of 5. I enjoy any movie where they terrorize Shelley Duvall.
I would imagine he'll probably give it a mid. My guess is he'll give it a 3, and mostly because he won't understand it because it doesn't explain everything to you. And then,
Yeah, but sometimes I don't care for that at all.
yeah. Well, and then
Or it's not even done well. Or it's edited out.
Top Gun
Top Gun?
is winning for next week.
Original?
Yeah.
5 out of 5.
4 out of 5. It's definitely homosexual.
Oh yeah, yeah, I meant 4 out of 5. No, that's bros, dude. That's bros.
Well, that too. But,
Have you ever met a vet that wasn't a little gay?
yes.
I haven't. Oh shit. All right, let's wrap it up. I got a train coming.
Yeah. We can definitely do that. We've already switched to the other things, so if you want to say goodnight, we can be done.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful